You know, when you start learning a new language, how on day one you learn hello, and then maybe a few weeks later you're tackling past tense. Have you ever stopped to wonder who decides that? Who makes that plan? Well, today, we are pulling back the curtain on one of the biggest debates in all of language education: how you design the syllabus. It's the blueprint for learning, and we're about to see how it all gets put together. So here's our roadmap. We'll kick things off by making sure we're all on the same page about what a syllabus even is. Then we're going to dive into the old school way of doing things, the product-oriented approach, and see why people started to question it. That'll lead us right into the alternative, the process-oriented syllabus. And we'll wrap up by looking at where this whole debate has landed today.
All right, first things first. Before we can really get into the weeds of this debate, we've got to define our terms. So what in the world is a syllabus exactly?
Okay, so you've probably heard people use curriculum and syllabus like they're the same thing. They're really not. The curriculum is the huge, big picture view. It's the why we're teaching something. It covers the philosophy, the big goals, all that stuff. But the syllabus, that's a piece inside the curriculum. It's the nitty-gritty, the what. It's the list of things you're actually going to learn and in what order. Okay, let's dive into the first of our two big ideas. This is the traditional, classic way to think about teaching a language, where you basically see language as a big box of Lego bricks, grammar rules, vocabulary, and your job is to learn how to put them together, one by one. The absolute best way to picture this is to think about building a house. With this approach, you're handed a super detailed blueprint. That's all your grammar rules. And you've got these neat, tidy piles of materials, your verbs, your nouns, your adjectives. Your whole job is to follow the blueprint exactly, piece by piece, until you've built the final product, a perfect sentence. Now, there's a technical term for this, of course. It's called a synthetic syllabus. And as the linguist D.A. Wilkins put it, the whole idea is that learning is a gradual accumulation. You're literally synthesizing, or combining, all these little parts you learn, until voila, you've built the entire language from the ground up. And here is a perfect example of what that grammatical chain looks like in a real textbook. See how it works? It's so clean, so logical. First, you get the ing form down. A little later, you bring in the word there so you can build on what you already know. Every single lesson is a stepping stone to the next. For a very long time, pretty much everyone agreed this was the way to do it. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? People started to realize that this neat, tidy blueprint didn't quite capture the messy, chaotic, beautiful reality of how people actually talk to each other. They started finding some serious cracks in the foundation. So, what was the issue? Well, it boils down to this. The actual words you use, the form, don't have a simple one-to-one link with what you're trying to do, the function. I mean, take this sentence. The cliffs are over there. What does that mean? If someone says it calmly while pointing, it's a direction. But if they scream it while grabbing your arm, that's a life-saving warning. The grammar alone just doesn't tell you enough. And this is a two-way street. Let's flip it. Say your goal, your function, is just to get a drink. How many ways can you do it? Your textbook might teach you the very polite, "May I have a drink, please?" But in the real world, you might just say, "Thirsty weather this," or "I'm dying for a drink." Learning just one correct form just doesn't cut it. And on top of all that, researchers looking at how our brains actually work dropped a bombshell. It turns out that when we learn a new language, our brains don't just passively absorb the grammar in the order a textbook gives it to us. Nope. Our brains seem to have their own built-in syllabus, a natural order for picking things up, no matter what the teacher is doing. So, all of these issues sparked a revolution in thinking. People started asking, what if we've been focused on the wrong thing this whole time? What if the syllabus shouldn't be about the what, that long list of grammar rules, but about the how? What if it should be about the actual process of learning? And this, right here, this is the core of the whole debate. The old product-oriented syllabus is all about the destination, getting to that endpoint where you know the language. But the new process-oriented syllabus, it's all about the journey. It's about the things you do and the experiences you have to get there. Let's go back to our house analogy. The process approach basically takes the detailed blueprint and, well, it kind of tosses it aside. Instead, the teacher might say, "Okay, team, today's project is to frame this wall." And in the process of actually doing that task, you learn what you need to know about tools and measurements and materials. You learn by doing. And hey, this isn't just a theory. A really famous experiment called the Bangalore Project put this to the test. The syllabus wasn't a list of grammar points, it was a list of tasks. So you'd have an information gap task, like, I have a secret picture and I have to describe it so you can draw it. The goal isn't to use adjectives correctly, the goal is for your drawing to match my picture. The language is just the tool you use to get it done. Now, you might be thinking, this all sounds a bit random, but it's actually incredibly systematic. Thinkers like Michael Long created a whole procedure for this. You don't just pick fun activities. You start by doing a needs analysis. What do these learners actually need to do with the language in the real world? Are they going to be business executives? Tour guides? From there, you design classroom tasks that build up the skills they'll actually need. So this new focus on tasks and the learning process was really exciting, but it created a fascinating new puzzle. If your syllabus, the what you're learning, is a list of activities, and your methodology, the how you learn, is also doing activities, wait a second, where does one end and the other begin? The lines got really, really blurry. And this is where some very clever critics like H.G. Widdowson chimed in. He warned about what he called the dress rehearsal problem. Think about it. If all you do in class is practice ordering food at a restaurant, you'll probably get amazing at ordering food at a restaurant. But does that mean you can handle checking into a hotel or reporting a lost passport? The real trick is being able to take what you've learned and apply it to a new situation you've never rehearsed before. This brings us to a really beautiful modern way of looking at all this. Michael Breen suggests that maybe a syllabus shouldn't be a rigid, fixed document at all. Maybe it's more like a flexible plan, a plan for the real syllabus to be created day by the teacher and the students working together. It's not a static map, it's a living, breathing guide that they co-author. So in the end, it all comes back to this one huge question. What's the best way to help someone learn a language? Do we give them a perfect turn-by-turn map that shows them every single landmark they need to visit? Or do we give them a compass, teach them how to read the stars, and empower them to explore the entire landscape on their own terms? There's no easy answer, and that very question is still shaping how we all learn, right now, today.